Hey guys, welcome back to my channel once again. Stavan here. Hope all of you are doing great. So you must have seen the thumbnail. So without wasting time, let's get it started. So this video is in continuity to the last video that I have made on upgradation of headlight, and I have suggested some list of modification. So if you haven't watched it yet, then you can go and you can watch that particular video. So it would be helpful to you. So this video is about the aux light, but before starting with the aux light, we will discuss little bit about the motorcycle electrical system, right? So the entire motorcycle electrical system rely on the alternator, and alternator are having a three part. So part number one will be the rotor. So rotor is attached to the crankshaft somewhere. Rotor is having a magnet attached to it. So whenever rotor moves, so it will create some magnetic field. Then the next component is the stator. So you must have seen the stator, the copper coil, right? Winding of copper coil on the iron pole. So that is the stator. So role of stator is, as a copper is a conductive metal. So whenever a magnetic field is created, so if it comes into contact with the conductive material, then it will generate the EMF, means electromotive force, and then after it will induce a current in the copper wire. So this is how your motorcycle produces electrical current. So rotor spins, it is having a magnet which generates magnetic fields, and when it comes into a contact with the conductive wire or a conductive metal, then it will produce the current. But issue with this system, the current is a AC, means alternative current, and your electrical component of your motorcycle systems do require a DC current. So then after the another next part is there in the motorcycle electrical system, it is the RR unit, or regulator and rectifier we can say. So whose role is, it will convert AC current into a DC current, and it will provide electrical power to the other components like fuel pump, then display, right? Then your injectors. So all the electrical components gets power from the RR unit. So these are the three components of motorcycle electrical system, starting with the rotor which rotates along with the engine speed. Then the next is the stator which generates the current, and the third one is the regulator rectifier which converts AC current into a DC current, and then after it will subsequently distribute the current. Now before installing a aux light or a fog light, you should be knowing about the actual consumption of those electrical add-ons, because our motorcycle system do support electrical add-ons or electrical accessory up to a certain limit, and this is the reason why many times your RR unit will fail, right? Or a stator may be burn, or your rotor may be having some issues. So before installing these kind of lights, you should be aware about the electrical consumptions of those add-on accessories. And another thing, you should be having some idea how much total wattage your electrical system produces. So for this total wattage, you should refer owner's manual. So we will discuss two cases. Case number one is of the Interceptor 650, and case number two will be of the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. So that will give you a clear idea how to select aux light, right? And if it's suitable for your motorcycle electrical system or not. So let's get it started. Now the case number one is a Royal Enfield Interceptor. So do not worry, I will share this owner's manual in the screen somewhere, so even you can get an idea. So as per the owner's manual, Interceptor generates 156 watt at 1100 rpm. So 1100 rpm is roughly a idling speed. So total generation of wattage is 156 watt. And now in 156 watt, let us calculate the consumption. So starting with the very first, that is the headlight. So your headlight consumes a 60 watt, right? Then brake lamp or a tail lamp, so they consume 5 watt, right? So total 65. Then the turn signal. So in the manual it is mentioned it will consume 10 watt. So 10 watt into 4, right? So roughly it's 105 watt. And horns are there, they haven't mentioned anything about horn. So we assume a total 105 watt is being consumed by the headlight and your turn signals only, and the remaining wattage from the 156, so it will be consumed by your fuel pump, right? Your ECU, then your injectors and other electrical components. So if you compare all these things, right, then it's a very close match. Means it is generating 156 watt, and I can see consumption is almost close to 145 or 150 watt. So there is no extra juice left in the interceptor, and this is the reason why RR unit is showing malfunction in many of the interceptor as well as the GTs. So what they have done, they have launched the newer models, right? And in newer model they have upgraded the headlight to the LED unit, and entire LED unit that consumes only 15 watt. So you can just imagine 60 watt is the consumption of halogen bulb in the earlier version, and in the newer version it is a 15 watt only. So by this they are safeguarding the RR unit. So this was a case of interceptor. So in interceptor technically we cannot add any of the aux light or fog light, but still we are doing it, and this is the reason why RR unit is failing in the interceptor as well as GTs. So hope you understand what I am trying to say. Now next example is Royal Enfield Himalayan 450, recently launched one. So total output from the alternator is 280 watt at 1200 rpm. So you can see here it's a 280 watt, interceptor was having 156, so it is almost double as compared to the interceptor. And now let us calculate the other part also. So headlight consumption is just of 15 watt, right, 15 watt. So out of 280 you minus 15 watt. Then a brake lamp, it is consuming just 1.4 watt. Then a turn signal 2 watt, 4.2 watt, right, tail lamp 0.31 watt. Now here you can see headlight and other electrical components consuming a very less power. So if you even add up a consumption of display, right, even you can add up a consumption of your hazard system, then ECU, right, then injectors and other electrical accessories, even though it won't cross a 70 or 80 or say for example 100 watt total power consumption. So remaining 180 is totally a buffer wattage for your motorcycle. So in Himalayan technically you can add even 100 watt per pair aux light or a fog light, because buffer wattage is very high and it won't affect your motorcycle's electrical system. So this is the reason manufacturers are opting for LED headlight in a recent times. So in a nutshell, your motorcycle should be having some buffer capacity of wattage if you wish to install aux light or fog light. Otherwise, any of the electrical component, let it be a rotor, right, or stator or a RR unit, so they may be damaged due to the additional electrical load. So you have to calculate it first, and then you can add any kind of the aux light or fog light. So you have to refer owner's manual, right, some number will be given to you, and you can calculate the total consumption, then add your calculation of your aux light or fog light, and then after you have to subtract the that number from the owner's manual number, and if buffer capacity is good, then you can add aux light as well as a fog light. So this is all about how to calculate additional load on your motorcycle's electrical system, if additional load of aux light or fog light is safe for your stock harness or not, and accordingly you can plan, and accordingly you can select suitable aux light as well as a fog light. So I hope this video will be helpful to you. If you are still watching it, then feel free to like, share and subscribe. Till then, see you in the next video, and next video we will discuss different types of aux light as well as a fog light, and which one is best for you. So till then, take care, see you in the next video.